All news, all day. News Radio 1080 KRLD.
Well, thank you for being with us. 6:40 as the news continues. Chris Summer, Tish Stevens, live at the Mercedes-Benz of Plano News Center. A man with a knife goes on a deadly rampage in the heart of Britain's seat of power, plowing a car into pedestrians on London's Westminster Bridge before stabbing a police officer to death inside the gates of Parliament. 5 people were killed, including the attacker. At least 40 others are injured. Dr. Alex Del Carmen, who heads up the School of Criminology at Tarleton State University in Fort Worth, live now on the KRLD Newsline to talk about today's attack. Dr. Del Carmen, good evening to you, and thanks for the time.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I'm hearing a word associated with today's terror attack in London, a marauding attack. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it just means that here we go again with the same modus operandi that we have seen in other parts of the world and even in the United States, where you have someone who is intentionally inflicting harm on innocent people using basic tools that most of us have access to.
Do you believe the Islamic State at least had a hand into what happened today in London?
You know, I suspect in the next coming days, maybe 2 or 3 days, we're going to actually receive confirmation from the British government that this individual was in fact a sympathizer with ISIS and followed the ISIS model that we have seen throughout the world. There is very little question in my mind that this is ISIS related.
It's been about 10 hours now since this attack occurred in London. Is it interesting that we haven't heard any more information on the attacker, more about him in specific?
Well, actually, the British press is reporting quite a bit on him. But at the same time, keep in mind that there is an ongoing investigation right now, and the British know how to do it probably better than most other countries in the world except the United States. And what they're doing is they're simply following through all the leads, and I'm sure what they're focusing on is to make sure that there is not a second or a third wave to this attack, and that others perhaps may or may not have assisted for this individual to have inflicted harm on innocent people today.
Considering, Dr. Del Carmen, on how these things have unfolded in the past, is it possible we could see more attacks in the hours and days ahead, especially in Europe?
I would argue that it's not only possible, but it's also very likely that we are going to see other individuals that are inspired by this very twisted ideology to inflict harm on innocent people throughout Europe and perhaps even in the United States. I wouldn't put it past them. And it's very, very difficult for law enforcement to be able to prevent these.
Dr. Del Carmen, as always, it's good to speak with you. Thanks for the time. That's Dr. Alex Del Carmen from Tarleton State University in Fort Worth.